Welcome, friends. Today, we are doing the top 10 pickups of 2023 list. Spectacular. That is right, friends. It comes but once a year, and today is the day. We are doing my top 10 pickups of 2023, and this was not an easy video to prepare for. There have been lots of fantastic pickups this past year, and a number of great fragrances have not been picked. I didn't pick up many new fragrances compared to previous years. There was definitely a slowdown and a revision of how I buy fragrances this past year, and that was my stated aim. That is what I wanted to do, and that is what I did. I'm happy to report. My State of the Collection address has already addressed these points. But today I will be giving you my definitive list after much ponderance and umming and ahhing and backwards and forwardsing. We shall do my top 10 because we know how the algorithm loves a top 10. And I don't do much for the algorithm. Frankly, the algorithm doesn't do much for me. So I'm all right with that, though. I think you kind of level off at the audience that you want to have, and you deserve to have. I'm not necessarily concerned about having a big audience, so you will not get top 10 lists from me very often. But today is one of those days, which makes it even more special. So, let's start, shall we? Shall we? I think we shall. And at number 10, there'll be no honourable mentions. I decided against it. I never understand honourable mentions. If you're going to do a top 10, it should be 10, not fucking 12, not 11, not 15, fucking 10. So, at number 10. At number 10 was a perfume I picked up early last year. I tried to avoid recency bias, because it is a thing. But I did try to avoid it in this case, but this was definitely an earlier one that I picked up, and this is Metropolis by Estee Lauder. In case you're thinking that is for men, it is not. This is Metropolis. Nice. If I remember correctly, I picked this up early last year. I found a bottle and I was like, ooh, what are you? And this is... It's not a flanker, but it's definitely in the vein of For Men. It's certainly in the vein of the bottle for men. You know what I mean? It's definitely there. So this is pineapple. Don't get carried away, Aventus people. It's not that kind of pineapple. It's pineapple. It is mint. It is oak moss. It's got a floral heart. It has this kind of vintage, late 80s Estee Lauder kind of aesthetic about it. It was an absolute flop, apparently. It was the right fragrance at the wrong time. It was like vetiver, leather, ambery, geranium, clary sage. It's fresh. It wears beautifully. It really is an absolutely gorgeous perfume. And up until a few years ago, you could pick it up for next to nothing. Unfortunately, I missed the boat on that one. But fortunately, I managed to get this 50ml and a 50ml backup. So I'm well stocked as far as Metropolis is concerned. It's a bit fresh. It's a little bit peppery. It's like a pepper. I suppose a peppermint, really. The pineapple's got this kind of It's very different to an Aventus pineapple. It's not that kind of jazz. Excuse me whilst I hydrate. But it's beautiful. It really is a real 80s spicy green men's cologne type thing. And I absolutely love it. I really do. And it beat out fierce competition for the top 10 spot, because this was the one that could have most easily lost its place on the list. You know? So well done to Metropolis by Lauder. An absolutely fantastic perfume that I am very chuffed to have added to my collection. Okay. Let us move on, my friends. Let us move on. And another early one from last year. Again, trying to avoid the recency bias. But this is from Filippo Socinelli, Laus by Unum, which is the house that Filippo Socinelli, or the line, maybe. I'm not sure. This is, again, a peppery, frankincense, incense, spicy, ambery thing. It's very complicated. My lid has decided to declare independence from the insert which attaches it to the bottle, which is deeply upsetting, I can assure you. I could have done without that. But it's spicy, it's dark, it's resinous. There's a lot going on there in a pardon me. There's a lot going on there in a dark kind of way, but it's also fresh. It's kind of incense fresh. Does that make sense? Like a cleanse with fire kind of thing. Hellfire, if you like. There's some labdanum. For me, the main star of the show is Elemi. It's got that clean, slightly citric, slightly burning, not chemical. Chemical's the wrong word to use in perfume circles. It's got that kind of astringent cleanliness, like hyper clean, but it's also smoky. Like I said, cleansed with fire. It's a little bit woody, a very little bit woody, spicy, smoky, resinous. There's some very scant floral green kind of thing going on there as well. But the main star of the show for me is the Elemi and the air and the incense. An absolutely fantastic perfume, which was released in 2013. So I didn't pick this up for 10 years. Again, this is not a released in 2023, because I don't think there were many great perfume releases in 2023. Not that I smelled anyway. Designer remains on its arse. Niche is heading the same way. But for me, picking this up in the last year, I think I've got a backup bottle of this. I might be wrong, but I might have a backup bottle of it. I'll have to check. We'll see. We'll see. Anywho, that was number 9. Number 8, there will be gasps. Gasps, I tell thee. Gasps. Because this is an absolute Fragcom darling, as they say. This is one of the top perfumes released from a really good house. And the fact that it's only at number 8 will cause shocks, but it is my list. And by God, I'll put it where I want. And this is Invasion Barbare. Invasion Barbare from MDCI. I didn't get the porcelain headed bottle. 1, because it's only a 75ml, but 2, because I don't know about the porcelain bust. I was going to say breast there. Bust. A porcelain boob. This is a fantastic. All of these are fantastic. I'm deal with it. I'm just going to keep calling them all fantastic. This is a fantastic fougere, slightly spicy, floral, warm, all-round composition. I think it was released in 2005. The perfumer is relatively unknown to me, and it is Stephanie Bacouche. But what a perfume to be remembered by. If you're going to have a hit, make it something as good as this, you know. I do love this bottle. It's fabulous. Violet leaf at the top, but not like a gasoline kind of violet. It's more of a kind of... It provides more of like a... It provides more of kind of like a viscosity, you know, like a slight, maybe just a slight fuel, you know, but not some petrochemical kind of fuel. Just a little bit of possible combustion, more fire than fuel. If that makes, it smells like the heat, not the fuel. Star of the show is lavender, and there's a patchouli, really nice patchouli and vanilla in the base, which gives it that, like, the lavender. You've obviously got bergamot, lavender, patchouli. That's kind of like the fougere thing. There's a little bit of cardamom in here too, which is up my nose at the minute. Sorry if I'm sniffing, it's very cold. There's some kind of dryness in here too. To get all these smells to fit into one perfume and then make them coherent is like an interesting feat. You know? Doesn't smell like feet. That's not what I'm saying. But it's an interesting feat of perfume to be able to do that. That's like where the skill of you're paying for the skill of the perfumer. But also the ingredients. This is a fabulously worthy perfume to add to your collection. Yes, it is expensive, but yes, it is worth it. You will know where your money has gone. I really enjoyed this. I was really enjoying my Amber Fougeres last year. And this has got, well, it hasn't got amber per se in it. It has got that kind of warm, smooth, kind of cuddly aspect from like the lavender and the vanilla. Lavender and vanilla, you know, they go together really well if you're trying to create that kind of vibe in a perfume. Okay. Next up, that was number 8. 10, 9, 8. Number 7. Lucky number 7. Lucky number 7 is, well, this is from a house I did my discovery set on last year, and this was one that impressed me greatly, and I've bought a few backups of this. I won't lie to you. I have bought a few backups. I love this stuff. It reminds me a bit of M7, but it's a niche version of M7. And this is Metropolis Elegantiers Bois de Turkey. I absolutely love this stuff. I have discovered that one of, if not my favourite citrus, is mandarin. I love mandarin, especially in perfume. It is amazing. It's juicy, kind of reminiscent of like a little bit of booze, you know. It's in Egoist Cologne Concentrate, which is another favourite of mine. It gives this kind of juicy, fruity, but not childish kind of zest at the top, you know. It does have that kind of fruitiness. It's got orange blossom in as well, which is kind of like a white floral, which gives it this. I'm okay with orange blossom. Probably the least offensive of the Probably the least offensive of the white florals for me. I don't hate Orange Blossom. It's in Queer Canage, and it's in a couple other things I've got, which are scapers, but I'm all right with it. It gives this kind of like a crystalline, like Turkish delight jelly kind of vibe, you know. Myrrhe, a lot of myrrhe in here, sandalwood, bay leaf, and a big iris, a beautiful iris note. A little bit of patchouli in the base. Like I said, it's very M7-ish. I wouldn't be surprised if it took inspiration from M7 took inspiration from it, because this came out in the 80s. No, it didn't. Sorry, that's an absolute lie. Sorry. This came out in 2008. This came out in 2008. It was not one of the originals. So maybe this took inspiration from M7. Sorry, M7, I've slandered you there. This is one of the older presentations. I don't know what the newer ones are like, but I think they take care of their fragrances. I think I'm going to try and wear this in spring as well, especially early spring. I've got it in my autumn list. I haven't worn it in the winter, especially not now because it's really cold. Not sure how it would do. It might do for indoors in winter, but considering I've got all these other pure winter fragrances, I want to try and give them a shot ahead of Bois de Turkey. But as far as how much I love the way this smells, I really love the way this smells. This is an awesome perfume. You can't go wrong with this. It's well worth trying. The whole house is worth trying, I think. They make really good perfumes. So that was Bois de Turkey at number 7. Number 6. Number 6 is from a house which I think is quite similar. And this was made at a similar time to Bois de Turkey, because I do remember when this was made. And this is from Annick Goutal. And this is Ambre Fetiche. One of my favourite pickups of the year has been meeting Fliss from Les Odorants. She is my friend, and she is awesome. And earlier this year, she sent me a package with some samples in, and it contained 3 Annick Goutals. I forget what the line was called. I forget what the line was called, but it was like an Oriental line with Encens Flamboyant and Myrrhe Ardente as well in the line. So I love this straight away. I actually bought a different bottle of this compared to which one this is. This is the spray. I bought the butterfly bottle, which is beautiful, but it's a splash. So I'm using this one first, and I'm keeping the splash one. So I just use this. This is incense, resins, a little bit of iris again, patchouli, vanilla, labdanum, benzoin, but to build that amber accord, you know, like the labdanum, the benzoin, vanilla, some patchouli. But what really gives this a twist and makes it different is the note of Russian leather. It gives the perfume this kind of depth, that it gives it a different dimension that other ambers don't have. A richness, a brownness. Ambers usually go like orangey, you know, like Ambre Sultan, which is what I'm wearing today, strangely enough. See the colour? See the colour difference between those two? All right. Now you might say that's like a deep, rich amber, a deep, rich orangey sort of colour. The colours I kind of get from Ambre Fetiche is more of like it moves into this like light brown You know, it gives it this kind of brown leather aspect, which is absolutely amazing. I think you can still buy this, but it has been reformulated since. It's not only leather, it's Russian leather, so it's got that kind of slightly smoky, birchy thing going on. Maybe some jasmine too, to give it a bit of warmth, a bit of heat. This has been absolutely amazing. I've been wearing this so much and enjoying it so much as well, you know. Okay. So that was number 6. Number 5. Oh. Now, number 5 is a bit of a strange one because I haven't worn this very much. But now that it's getting really cold, I kind of feel like this is the time that I might spring for it. It needs decanting, which is a problem for me. But this is from Santa Maria Novella. And this is Peau d'Espagne, the vintage. Well, the older Peau d'Espagne. I hesitate to say vintage because this was made in 1901. And Santa Maria Novella does go back hundreds and hundreds of years. This is a Russian leather perfume before Chanel's Russian leather. Not before Guerlain's Russian leather, but it's right out there. This is, for me, leather, birch, jasmine, floral, slightly sticky, smoky, but like an old smoke. You know those old smoked leather products that you got in the 80s before any of the regulation came in about what you couldn't use. It smells old. It's incredible. It smells like an old saddle. It smells like it's been out in the sun. It smells like it's been oiled. It's been treated with like birch. There's something a little bit, it could be violet leaf, like I was in fact it is violet leaf now I think about it, because it's got something in common with Fahrenheit and Invasion Barbare somehow, and it must be violet leaf, and you can smell heat. It's got a slightly horsey aspect to it. It's like rich but wearable. It's wild but controlled. You know, it's like working with an animal. You know that, you know, if you say and do certain things, it'll respond in certain ways, but it's still a fucking animal. You know, there's something slightly dangerous about it. It's an absolutely gorgeous perfume. It lasts all day. I don't want to say I'm almost scared to wear it, but I am almost scared to wear it because of it's a beautiful thing. It is something to behold. You know, it's something to wonder at, and I love it for that. I just need to build up the I just need to build up the guts to wear it. Okay, so that was number 5. Number 4. Number 4 is... This was really difficult getting these in order. I can tell you, this was very, very difficult, especially this one. And it's a shame it's not higher. It should be higher. But it just goes to show the... It just goes to show how good the other 3 are. This is Healy's Cologne Officinale. Any other year, this could have been top 3, or it could have been the top perfume. I was so impressed with this stuff, and it was a 2023 release. This was a 2023 release. This kind of gives you hope that perfume isn't dead. Excuse me whilst I hydrate. It gives you belief that people still want to make good perfumes and not just like Ambroxan, Oud Rose hellscape that there is out there. You know, the kind of crap focus group driven perfume. This is nothing like that. This is I don't want to say artistry, but it's kind of artistry. That's what it is. It's a soap perfume. It smells like really high end French soap. It smells like soap from the Côte d'Azur, from Marseille, Nice. It smells like southern France, Mediterranean, high class. So it's dry, but it's a little bit ambery. It's green. It's lavender. It's got oak moss, sage, rosemary, basil. Meh. It's absolutely gorgeous. It is. I'm so looking forward to wearing this again. I'm doing this video in January of 2024, mid-January 2024, and it's cold. And this perfume belongs in hot countries, hot climates, good weather. It's fresh, dry, creamy. Somehow does all these things. Smells like fresh out the shower, classy, gentlemanly, well spoken, well put together, well behaved. Unbelievable perfume. I'm going to be getting a sample set from the house and going through them. I already own Montfresh. I've smelled a few of them, but this house deserves so much more love than it gets on YouTube from the fragrance community. I'm not sure about other sites, whether they talk about Healy very much, but it doesn't seem to be that they do. And I love this. It's absolutely stunning. And it's criminal that it's just number 4. But the other three will show you why. Starting with number 3. This is a perfume I picked up again early last year. So there's no recency bias here. And this is an astonishingly good perfume. Again, it's an Ambre Fougère type thing. I think it was marketed towards ladies, and it's from the house of Jean Patou. And this is my Liberte. There is absolutely no doubt in my mind at all that this can be worn by a man. In fact, it's amazing on a man. This is one of the top lavender perfumes I have smelled ever. It's incredible. You could wear this anytime, any place. I have just put it in my spring and summer rotation because I had to, but it's slightly spicy, it's slightly woody, it's slightly citric at the top, it's got florals, it's got like a spiciness from like clove and cinnamon and nutmeg. There's a big nutmeg note in here, which you don't usually find in women's perfume. This is really ultra sex. I don't think you could wear it if you were young. I mean, if you wanted to, you could, but it's got a richness and a complexity of, makes it smell like experience and thought. It's powdery. It's a little bit of clove in there, woody, vetiver, sandalwood, some patchouli. So you've got citruses at the top, lavender in the middle, and patchouli in the base. To me, it's an ambery fougere type thing. It's really warm after a while of wearing it too. It's clean. It's blended perfectly. Absolutely perfectly by Jean Patou's in-house perfumer, Jean Curlio, one of the finest to do it in the second half of the 21st century, and that is quite some going. He refused to compromise, and thank God. The performance is massive, and I would highly recommend that you tried it if you're into lavender. This is one of the finest lavenders you'll ever smell. Even though it's marketed towards women, just completely disregard that. Completely disregard it. I wear this and no one would ever bat an eyelid. It's not like it's got some like crazy white floral women's stereotypical perfume grand dame thing going on. That's not what this is all. This is about at all. This is modern. It's rich, but it's classy. It's fantastic. I feel like a bit of an imposter when I wear it, to be honest, but I don't care because it smells so good. Okay. Top two. This was difficult. What order to put these two into? Extremely difficult. And I spent a long time umming and ahhing, thinking about where I should put these, but eventually I went with me heart. And at number two, my heart melted. And this is Melt My Heart by Strangelove. I did a first impressions on this brand this year. This came out in 2015, and I finally got round to it, and I was absolutely shaken to my very core by the prices. It's like 750 quid for a 100ml bottle. Don't pay that. Don't pay that. They do the 15 mils for about 180 as well. Don't pay that either. I managed to get both. I got two 15 mils and a 100 mil at about third of retail. Just be patient and wait. They'll pop up somewhere. Because needless to say, they don't sell a lot of it because of the silly prices. The perfumer is Christophe Laudamiel, and he has used incredible ingredients in this. I've said before, that I think this brand is what indie perfumers think they're making when they use all these world-class ingredients and just put overdoses of them in to compensate for the fact that they don't know how to use the ingredients properly. Christophe Laudamiel does know how to use them properly, and properly he has used them in this perfume. This is chocolate, iris, sage, oud, mandarin orange again, and sandalwood for me. I think there's a couple other notes in there, but they don't really stand up. Maybe it's the yellow floral. I can't remember which one. Excuse me whilst I hydrate. This is top perfume, top modern perfume. Nearly 10 years old, somehow. 2015 is nearly 10 years ago. It's 9 years ago, isn't it? But this is an absolutely incredible perfume. I wasn't impressed with the rest of the line. There's a couple of rose ouds, there's a big floral one, and then Silence the Sea is one of the most disgusting things I've smelled. But this stood out as a really top perfume. It's got to be to beat out the other ones in this list. I'm looking at the other ones I've already mentioned, and it's incredible that this has got to where it is. But it is. This is my second favourite pickup. The performance is massive. It smells pleasant. Everybody who smells it says, "Ooh, that's really nice." It's a little bit gourmand. It's creamy a little bit, sort of ambery, sort of in texture and in style, because it's warm and round and fuzzy. Gorgeous. It's exactly what I've been pining for this year. But not number one. Regular viewers to the channel, if you have stayed around this long, will be expecting what is coming next. And I'm not going to disappoint. I'm not going to hold off any longer. At number one, my favourite pickup of the year is Annick Goutal's Myrrhe Ardente. Look at the dent. This was full when I bought it, and I've only been wearing it for 3 months. Look at the dent I've put in that. That is massive. That's a big dent for having it for 3 years, never mind 3 months, when you've got a big perfume collection. This is incredible. This is another one that I have to thank Fliss for introducing me to. It was part of the sample set that she sent me. Encens Flamboyant did not make it in, but it could have. But this is my favourite perfume I've picked up this year. I cannot get enough of wearing this at the minute. It's myrrhe, and more myrrhe. Expertly surrounded and hoisted above everything else by benzoin, vanilla, tonka, beeswax, like a honey sort of thing. The claim to be Gaiac wood in here, if there is, I can't smell it. It's got that cola vibe that I absolutely love. The first time I smelled it, it was a little bit rubbery, and I was like, rubbery? What are you doing here? But you can get that from myrrhe. It can be a little rubbery, but it can be a little cola-like as well. Very interesting. I've really enjoyed me myrrhe this year. Myrrhe and iris. And amber, obviously, but amber's an accord. Performances all day. It's an incredible wear. You get to experience it all the way through. It changes, but it stays the same. It's cooling, but it's warming. It's fresh, but it's dark. And I love it. And I'm so glad that Fliss introduced us to it. And I am so glad and fortunate that I have managed to get a few backups, because I am rifling through this stuff. I cannot help myself. And it was based on that. This is a perfume I think about when I don't wear it. And I think, I wish I was wearing that. There's been a few times when I've worn different perfumes and I've thought, I wish I was wearing Myrrhe or Ardente instead. You know? Anyway. This has been my top 10 pickups for 2023, my friends. I hope you have enjoyed the video. And I hope I will see you all again soon. Bye.